Hello, my friends on LinkedIn and YouTube. Give me 1 second. I am waiting for StreamYard to play nice with my Facebook group. Then we're going to go live there. Yay. I see the live video starting on Facebook. I'm so excited. Let me get over to see where I can see the comments. Awesome. Love it. Happy Friday Eve day, everybody. You guys are in for a treat today. And you know how I like to do things? I'm using StreamYard to hit multiple places when I go live for, sanity and time savings. So I've got my Facebook group going. I've got YouTube. I've got LinkedIn. Wherever you're coming in from, welcome in. And if you're watching us on replay, we love that too. Pop some comments, some questions into the chat as we go along through this awesome interview. You're going to want to have Jenna's time. Let me tell you, she is a resource. So I'm super jazzed that she's here. Jenna Larson, I like to call her my new friend, is in the house. And she is going to, with me, we're going to dispel some myths. The myth that you have to have a large social media following to make money. The myth that organic strategies are dead and slow and ineffective. Buckle up, you guys. Jenna is a master when it comes to sales. You're going to want to take notes. And I'm just going to warn you, she talks faster than I do. But just in case we've never met before, I am Tracy Beavers. I'm an award-winning business and sales coach with over 25 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business development. And about 7 years ago, I became completely fed up with my corporate career. Honestly, never thought I would say those words ever and be an entrepreneur, but I hatched a plan to fully exit. Once I fully exited and was building this business that you see now, in my second full year of business, I blew well past the 6-figure ceiling and I haven't looked back. And I do not say that to brag. You guys that know me well know that I'm not a braggy braggerson. I'm telling you that for inspiration. If you are in a job that you hate, or you've left the corporate job and you're wondering, when is my business going to grow? You can do this. If I can do it, you can do it too. You can build a business just like I have. I teach all organic visibility and list growth strategies, and I've coached hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you over the years to get visible and grow your email lists so you get that consistent monthly income that you need and you want. And the strategies that I teach are super cool because we get your list growth happening automatically every day in the background of your business without paid ads or creating more free lead magnets. All right, pop your questions and comments into the chat for us. Again, if you're coming on replay, pop those in. If I don't know the answer, I will tag Jenna and we will get you an answer. Let me introduce Jenna Larson. Jenna is the co-founder and coach of GroupTrack. You guys know I've been talking a lot about GroupTrack. It is my favorite CRM system, and I'm literally kicking myself for not doing this years ago. This is a social CRM. And it helps businesses attract more clients from social media. You know, I'm all about that. We've got to attract people to us through social media. And it truly has made a difference in my ability to move my leads from knowing who I am to purchasing my offers. And that's what we want. We want to bring people from awareness to buyer as quickly and effectively as possible. And she has helped so many clients, including me, achieve remarkable success in their social media marketing efforts. She is a seasoned coach. She is committed to empowering everybody that is one of her clients to have the knowledge and skills they need to grow their business. And I have witnessed this firsthand. She is determined that everybody that's in her program wins. She is known for her client-centric approach, focuses on building authentic relationships, which you know I love that too, and providing exceptional value through social media engagement. All right. I love those authentic relationships. Okay. I always ask our guests for a fun fact. You guys are going to love this one. Did you know Jenna was on the rowing team in college? Okay. Like one of those big boats, and she's coached Olympians. And let me tell you something. I saw a video of her in a boat with a megaphone. And let me tell you, she is one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your life. She has the biggest heart for everybody. But you put this girl in a boat with a megaphone, inspiring and frightening all at once. She will push you until you puke. Is that right?
Literally. Oh yeah, literally.
Yep. I love it. Jenna, welcome in. Is there anything you want to add that I didn't mention, or do you want to expand upon the fun?
No, I was like, this is the most fun welcome of all time. You're so good. But I will say too, like listening to your story, I was like, man, we are so similar. And I know we talk about this all the time, but I left corporate too. I never in a million years thought I would leave corporate. My story's a tiny bit different in that God told me to leave, and like within a month, I was like, well, guess I'm quitting my business or quitting my job and starting a business, but I had no idea what I was doing. You actually like made a plan and made it happen. I walked into my boss's office and I was like, hey, I've been here for 10 years, but I'm quitting because God told me. And he was like, what? And then I did. So yeah, similar story, but a little bit more Jenna style, which is like, we don't think, we act, we do.
Right. We don't think, we just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep.
Well, no, I love it. And I want to go down that road for just a second and have you tell a little bit more about your story, because everybody's probably wanting to know right about now, what the heck did her family say? Okay.
Well, so
your boss was shocked. What did your family say?
Oh yeah. So I said to my husband, I was like, hey, I was at church, and this is like the church, like God was like, knock, knock, you need to quit. You need to go do this other thing. And I was like, sir, because we talked like that. I'm like, sir, I think you have the wrong girl. I think I'm good. Like, I think you're talking to the wrong girl. Right. But he was like super relentless per usual. Right. So then I went to my husband. I was like, okay, so God told me I'm quitting the, career of my lifetime. And I had been there for 10 years. I never would have left. It was my family. I had the best results in the company, and I would get my work done by 11 o'clock every day. So it was like the greatest job of all time. And so when I went and told Chris, I was like, hey, I'm quitting my job. I'm starting my own company. I don't really know what I'm going to teach other than I'm going to be a performance coach, because with my, experience in corporate and being, a coach to Olympians, I was like, I'm going to get people to perform at their highest level. Like I will literally make them puke in, business. Right. And so I said, and I found a coach. She's $30,000 for the first, whatever, not even 6 months. I don't know. And I said, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I thought was going to be like, you're crazy. We don't have the money. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not an entrepreneur. But he looked at me and he was like, well, if anyone can do it, it's you. I'm behind you. And I was like, damn it. Because once he said yes, I was like, well, now I have to do it. So then I called my mom and I was like, hey, mom, told her the same story. And she was like, Jenna, I've been waiting for this. Like, this makes me want to cry. She's like, I have been waiting for this phone call for 2 years. I was like, what? Why didn't you tell me? Like, how on earth, right? She's like, you were born for this. You were made for this. Gosh. You got it. And so it was like having my family be so steadfast in their reaction. Like, oh yeah, absolutely. Of course you are. Like, what do you mean? Amazing. Gave me everything that I needed to do to pull the trigger. And it is actually a really cool story, because with my corporate job, I went and told my boss this. We had like a going away party. I literally packed my stuff. As I was walking out the door, he was like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? I was like, sure. He's like, I have an idea. You produce more results than someone who works full time than if I were allowed to, like, if I kept you literally working part time. What if I keep paying you your same salary? You work part time while you start growing your business. And I was like, sold. So, So like, do I need to put my stuff back, or do I get to go home? I literally did. I turned around and I was like, well, okay. Turned around. I stayed for 6 more months while I started my business. And that was such a wonderful gift, because, it gave me a little bit of security as I was like, doing this crazy, scary thing. I know. Which was the greatest decision of my entire life, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. But and also I want to touch on something really quick before we dive into my questions, because I have, I have questions. Yes. I always have questions. You're prepared. Yeah, I always prepare. But I want to talk about the evolution, because a lot of times with my clients and students, they are afraid to take action because they're afraid it's not going to be perfect right out of the gate. They're not going to pick the right thing right out of the gate. And like my evolution is, I started as a general, you cannot get more general than this. Like, talk about not niching down, general business and sales coach. Yeah. And I started with my warm market of local people, brick and mortar businesses. But I've evolved over the years into the online space, serving global entrepreneurs, teaching visibility and list growth. So where I started is not where I am now. Can you speak to that? Because I know where you started is not where you are now. Not even close. Yeah. So when I started, my idea was, I want to take what I've, experienced in corporate when it comes to client acquisition and retention and customer service, voice of customer, persistence. And I just want to teach business owners how to implement those things so their clients stay. And so when I started that company, I accidentally started coaching network marketers. Mind you, I've never done a day of network marketing in my life.
How fun.
But for whatever reason, those people really wanted what I had. I ended up speaking at like conventions at like network market. It was so wild, right?
Yeah.
But so that company, you know, did amazing. I was well over 6 figures in the first year, and you know, it just kind of snowballed. But I through what I was teaching these clients, I realized something very crazy, which was that what I was teaching them was really working. They were having so many clients, so many conversations, so many things that then it created another problem where they were like, dude, Jenna, we literally can't keep up with the volume. We're losing leads. We're forgetting conversations in the DMs and so forth. And so I was like, oh my God, I need to build a CRM, a follow-up system that lives where your people do, which is on social media. So we joke that we accidentally created our software company because it really was just born out of a problem I created with my first company. So I ended up, you know, creating GroupTrack and closed that other business. And so, you know, it was so crazy because I remember thinking like, you know, while I was doing Drive Performance Coaching, which was the first company, I was just thinking, wow, God, like I could have never envisioned this life you had for me. Like I never thought, and I thought, this is it. Like, this is where he wanted me. This is amazing. I couldn't have ever imagined it. And now I look back and I'm like, oh, silly. He was like totally like, ha, you think this is it. Just wait. Right. But I kept listening. And so, you know, I was like, wow, that was such a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was it. Now I have a software company and it's insane. And I'm still like, who the heck am I? Like, how on earth does this little girl go from corporate, no, you know, entrepreneurial experience at all, and then have $1 million business, you know, within a couple years is actually wild. But, you know, I think the answer is, and you know this, Tracy, like I do everything the minute I think I should, which is maybe good, but maybe bad. I don't make the lead magnet. I don't go build an offer. I go sell the offer. And then when enough people buy it, I coach them and then I build it while I'm doing it. So absolutely nothing that I have done has been complete before ever launching and without typos. And I always like one of the things that's really important.
I do love your typos. I do love your typos.
But it's so important to me to show up in authenticity and who I am, which is I wore my shirt completely inside out 2 days ago to work. I have typos every day. I do things that are crazy, but I don't hide it. In fact, I show it because I want the truth to be known. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to be articulate. Like there are so many things you don't have to do, which so many people tell themselves these stories around that are just not true. And I just want to tell the truth, which is I am actually a hot mess. If you saw the dishes in my sink, you would be like, oh my God. And in real life, like it's so fun because my friends who don't know me like you do, they're like, that girl, Jenna, like get out of her. Like they cannot comprehend that I am capable to run $1 million business because they know me in real life and they're like, she's crazy and a hot mess, right? But I love that. And I love that you don't have to be all these perfect things. You just have to take action that's imperfect.
Right. No, and one of the things that I have enjoyed about you and getting to know you is the fact that you are yourself. And my audience knows I am all about honesty and transparency. I cannot try to be somebody else. It would not work. I am a goofball. I make up words. I talk with my hands. I talk 90 miles an hour. I mean, that's just me. And you know, people don't want to hire me for that reason, or they want to question my credibility for that reason. Okay, fine. You're not my person. I'm here to have fun and build a business.
I actually had someone email me the other day and was like, this is the last straw. I am not going to follow you anymore. You were on a free, by the way, free training, eating a sandwich. God. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. I work freaking hard. I go back to back to back on these calls and I am showing up for you. So here's the reality. I can either do this call and eat so I'm nourished and I can give you the things, or we can charge you later, let me eat, and then you can pay for it. You choose. But like, that's my mentality. I'm like, okay, bye. Love you, but I'm going to eat because I'm real. And I needed a second.
I needed a sandwich.
I needed some turkey. Okay.
I love it. All right. Let's dive into these questions that I've got. All right. So we're busting some myths today. That word is so hard to say. Why did I pick that word? We're busting some things that are not true today. Let me
Yeah.
All right. Do we have to have a large social media following to be successful.
I mean, did you see my face? I'm like, I'm so over this thought that you have to have a lot of followers. It's
Me
so
too.
dumb.
Me
And I
too.
think the reality is there's a lot of gurus that teach how to get followers.
Right.
And so they're going to tell you like, oh my God, you have to have 1 million followers. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm like, absolutely not. Here is the absolute truth and reality. And I'm proof and I'll share why. You can make money. It's not about the number of followers. It's the number of conversations. Now, sure, you could argue that the more followers you have, the more conversations, but I don't even need you to follow me. All I need to do is show up and trigger moments for people to like raise their hands. And then I follow up with them. So, you know, I share this, right? Now, to be fair, like I've been in business with GroupTrack. I don't even know how long. We launched in 2020, so almost 5 years. That's wild. My Facebook group has 5,000 members. So over 5 years, that's how many we've gotten, right? So that was not overnight.
Right.
And in like the world of Facebook groups, that's not even that large, honestly. Yeah, it's like a medium group, I would say. I mean, we have clients that have like 250,000, which I actually think is worse.
Yeah. That's too
so
many.
I have 5,000 group members. I have 7,500 followers on Facebook. Well, that's recent. But let me just like explain our $1 million a year, our first one, which happened year 3 of GroupTrack. We didn't have any of that, right? So like we were selling without any followers. My Instagram page has 130, like 170, killing it over there. Killing it.
And LinkedIn, I don't think you have a big presence on LinkedIn.
No. LinkedIn is only my corporate friends just recently because we're about to use GroupTrack on LinkedIn. Now I'm like, oh, maybe I should hang out. So yeah, make sure you tag me in this video. Hey, follow me, guys. But here's the reality, right? The only reason I say follow me is because I want to connect with humans. So when you follow me on these different platforms, here's the most important thing. I am going to reach out and talk to you and be like, hey, let's talk about business. How can we connect and support one another? And the reality is I don't connect with you to sell to you. That is not what I'm doing. What I am doing is connecting to see how we can collaborate. Because the reality is I don't want to sell to you. In reality, I want to sell to your audience and help you make money, right? Or if you have something you can bring to my audience, I'll put you in front of my community. So collaboration is really where, you know, the money is. So it's not like come buy from me. It's like, hey, let's connect and collaborate.
It's those conversations. And I say this all the time. So glad you're here to reinforce some of the stuff I've been saying. But yes, we want to get into conversation because that is where the conversions happen, whether it's a conversion for a collaboration, a conversion for a new referral partner, a conversion for a new affiliate partner, a conversion of an actual client. That's always fun. But anytime we meet somebody else, it's that conversation. We never know where it's going to lead, but unless we are getting into conversation with people, we're not going to have any business growth, forward motion. And I want to give it a real quick example of, you don't have to have a big following. There was a gal that hired me about a year ago. At the time she had 300,000 followers on Instagram. In our work together, it kept growing. Now she's probably more like 1 million. Do you know how much money she was making?
Nothing.
$0.
Yep.
$0. She started a YouTube channel, immediately went to like 200,000 subscribers, $0. And I was like, we've got to have conversations. We got to, you know, I'm all about list growth. I was like, we got to get them on the list. We've got to connect with them on social. We got to have some DM conversations. We got to give people something to buy, and nothing. So
it is common. It is wild. I'm, you know, now that I'm like, oh, I should, you know, do this on Instagram. I'm in a coaching program and I hear all these people and it's like, all they're talking about is going viral. And I'm like, but why? For what reason? That's actually harder. You know, I mentioned we have a couple clients that have, you know, groups of 250,000. I don't want that.
I don't either.
Because I know the truth, which is conversations and connections is what converts. Why would I want to have to like try to follow up with that many people? They don't get it. That's the reality, right? And that's why we're on a mission here to be like, dude, you don't need the followers. You just need to connect the ones you have.
Exactly. I would rather have a highly engaged Facebook group. I've got 3,500 people in mine right now. That did not happen overnight, by the way. Y'all know I started it years ago. Do you mind if I ask, if it's none of our business, tell us, how big is your email list with GroupTrack?
I don't even know because I don't look at it. I have a person for that, but I'm going to guess, well, because we just had to increase our payment. So I think maybe 6,000.
Yeah. Okay. So still though, you do not have like a 15,000 person email list.
No. In fact, I just told my
Yeah.
girl, delete all the people that aren't opening. I don't care about the number. I don't want them.
Right. Right.
It's vanity metrics. You know what
Is.
is a sanity metric? Money in your bank.
Yeah.
I could care less about the vanity metrics. I don't care how
I
many
love it.
followers, how many lists people. I could care less about all of it. I want
Right.
money and I want
Right.
to support people.
Yeah, me too. All right. So we're talking about the importance of having these conversations. Conversation leads to conversion, right? How the heck do we keep track of these conversations in the DMs, in the emails, all the places that we're having them? How do we do that? The best way.
Prior to GroupTrack, I don't know, you didn't, right? Like you lost a lot of money. So what we do is we use GroupTrack for all of our interactions on social media. So if I get a new Facebook follower, they go into GroupTrack CRM. If I get a new Instagram follower, a new Facebook group member, somebody who's in my DMs, anybody that I am engaging with on social media, anyone who likes a post of mine or comments, they go into the system. And inside the system is a pipeline. And basically that is just a step-by-step process that we're going to take them through in order to get them from lead to client, like you talked about in the beginning. So every single human that is connecting with on social is going to go into GroupTrack's pipeline so that I can manage, track, and follow up there. What's really crazy cool about GroupTrack and your email list is that you can actually connect those two systems as well. So for example, we use ActiveCampaign in my company. If someone joins my Facebook group and we approve them to the group using GroupTrack, that person automatically goes onto your email list without you pressing any buttons so that you can automatically grow your list as well. So that allows me to then track where the person is in the customer journey because I've connected GroupTrack and ActiveCampaign. Any tags that indicate buying habits or registrations for webinars or anything that's going to help me know where this client is or prospect is, that information comes back into GroupTrack as well, so that I have those little triggers and indicators like, okay, this lead is really interacting with this email. Therefore, come on, let's go DM them and have a good conversation that will convert.
Right. Love that. I was able to be way more effective in my last launch because of GroupTrack. And because like you're saying with the tagging system, so if here's an example, you guys. So that I launched Business Visibility Made Easy with live masterclasses and people are signing up for the live masterclass. And then there's a thank you page that invites them to my free group. Jenna comes to join my free group. I can see in my Kajabi system that she signed up for January 21st masterclass. I can put a tag on her in GroupTrack, January 21st masterclass. So maybe Jenna didn't convert in that launch, but when Jenna comes back in April and signs up for April 15 live masterclass, and then she doesn't convert and she comes back in October, and I'm like, let's have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like you can see what freebies have you gotten, oh my God, it's just beautiful.
All the things. And that's, knowledge is power, right? And so let's look at the data. If somebody continues to open my lead magnets, come to my masterclass, do all these things, that is such a buyer indication that they just need help to get over the hump. And so I might reach out to them at that moment and be like, dude, Jenna, I see that you've come to my masterclass. I'm so glad. I've seen that you got this, and this, thing. It appears to me that you're trying to kind of DIY it. Is that true?
Yeah.
How's that going? How much longer are you going to give yourself to figure out if that's working or not?
Right.
Okay, great. Because what we really believe is that we can help you get those results faster, quicker, better. Would you like for us to reach out when you've hit your deadline? Because guess what? They're going to try to DIY it. It's not going to work. Right. And then you can follow up and be like, let me pull you. What do you say? Rake you through the coals?
No, pull you up the mountain.
Pull you up the mountain. Oh my God. I say everything wrong. So I'm like, rake you through the coals doesn't sound right. I don't know. Doesn't
sound positive. We don't.
No, it didn't. It didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're wanting to pull them up the mountain.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about you, you're a lot like me in this. You're at the top of the mountain, right? And you got all that experience, but you're not the coach that's going to stay up there. You're coming down to pull you up to the ledge. Okay, now
Yep.
here we go. We're going to go up to the ledge. Yes, I love that.
Well, and I think that I just want to like, that is a big deal to me, because I think that there's a lot of coaches that are in these, they've really had their moment. They've climbed to the top of the top of the top. And, you pay for these $30,000 programs, you go into them, you don't get to talk to the coach that's at the top. They're over there, and maybe they've got like a little, not a little, but like a coach that's trying to like support them.
Right.
But it's like, you're looking up at that coach like, dude, help me out. Right. But they're so far beyond where you are. And it is the reality. And I think it's one of my main missions. We don't charge high ticket coaching for a high value program. We undercharge, over deliver. And that's one of the things that I feel very strongly about, like trying to change in this coaching industry, is that you don't have to buy a house. I paid $30,000 for my first coach. Now, let me tell you, I mean, that was like, it was $1,250 per hour that I paid. But I was like, I'm doing it right. I'm not playing. Now, I will tell you, you best believe every piece of homework was done. Every minute I had with her, I was like writing furiously, and I performed. So like, I am the girl that needs a little pressure. And I made that $30,000 up in, probably 2 months. So it was worth every dollar, but not every coach is that way. And that was private coaching. I just paid $36,000 for a group coaching program, and I was horrified, actually horrified at the like coaching that I got, the inaccessibility. Like, it was just, so anyways, that has fueled my mission to, like, number one, provide coaching that is accessible cost wise. And number two, to come down the mountain and sit with you and do the work with you. And number two or three, I don't know, to like, really have you do the work in the coaching, because I hate when you show up to a coaching call and it's theory and like, you should do this. Okay, great. Sounds great. How? Help me. You know what I mean? Anyways, that was not at all the question, but it is a very strong Jenna rant we've gone down.
No, it's fine. I have the same rant. I have a post that had, we ended up having 200 comments on it. And it was essentially what you said. Do not spend $18,000, $20,000, $25,000 on anything unless that person is going to pack a bag and move into your house and live with you and answer every question. You know what I mean? It's no, I see it all the time. We could go
it's wild. I have people that have gone through the big programs, many of them that y'all know. And then they come to my program and they're like, damn it, I should have done this first. Like, sorry.
People say that to me too. My students say, I wish I'd found you first, and I wouldn't have spent $40,000 on other things. All right, let's dial it back, because you and I will go on a scavenger hunt together if we're not careful. Let's talk about organic social sales. What does that mean? And what's the number one thing we are screwing up when it comes to having a shot at making sales?
Yeah. I think that organic gets a little bit confusing for people. I think they think it means, oh, I just don't pay for ads, but people will come to me and buy. And if I could dispel the biggest myth of all times, it would be that organic doesn't mean that you just do a post on social media and people throw money at your face. Right. I always use this analogy that, if I were to walk into your home and you're like, oh my gosh, Jenna, fridge is over there, make yourself a drink. I'm going to be like, oh, no, I'm good. I'll just take a water, right? Because that's awkward. And I don't want to take the action to go do what, the thing. Versus if I walk in your home and Tracy's like, Jenna, I know that you just did this great thing, blah, blah, blah. I know you love Chardonnay. Would you like a glass? I'm going to take the glass out of your hand, right? And I'm going to drink that thing. Same thing with social media. People think, oh, I just put a post on social, but why? Absolutely not. I work for my leads. I work for my sales. Like, I follow up like you would not believe. And it literally is one of us is going to die, or they're going to tell me no, thank you.
Exactly. I say the same thing. Yeah. Follow up until either they say, get off my lawn, or their social security number expires. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. But that's the reality. And I think that people just need to understand, like, you've got to go get, like, if you are going to wait for things to happen in your business, you're going to fail. I don't wait for anything. I don't be like, oh, the algorithm's, not letting my content. I don't care. I will go DM you. You know what I mean? It's like our email system went down for a week. I could not email a single person in my business. I did not care. I was like, great, I will go DM people. I will go do this instead. And so I feel like it's an unintentional like victim thing where we're like, oh, it's just not working. Nothing works for me. I'm like, well, work. And I say this with actual love. I know I sound like a jerk right now, but it's like, I feel so like passionate about it.
Yeah.
If people would just take proactive action in their business when it comes to selling on social media organically. To be clear, we convert over. Last year we sold 1.2 million, not a $0 spent on ads. In fact, we've never done an ad.
I love that.
And so it's proof that organic works, but I want to be clear, I work for those sales. And that's the trade-off. You know, I mean, and even if you do pay for ads, you still have to work to convert them.
Right. Yeah,
so I totally agree.
I totally agree. I see so many people that there's a lot of marketing out there from the big people that says basically, if you build it, people will buy it. No, that is not true.
No, because then they come to our programs after they've spent millions of dollars and it didn't work. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Give us some success stories when it comes to GroupTrack. And I'm going to throw myself into the mix. Y'all know what I'm doing right now while we're on the live? I'm sending bulk DM messages to invite people to my Facebook group. So I'm sending, I think I've got it to send out 50 this morning. I'm sending another 50 now, and I'm not doing it. What am I doing? I'm doing other things in my business, right? And then there was another day where I was sending bulk messages then I posted about this. I went to get my hair done. I went to the DMV to renew my driver's license. I went to visit my mom. I ran 2 other errands, I think. And the system was doing it for me. Do you know how many hours that saves when you've got a message you need to get out about sign up for my free live, want to come to my free live masterclass, or I've got this awesome group. Would this be something you'd be interested in, or, whatever it is. So tell us some other success stories though, because I know you've got a lot of them.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, but bulk messaging is one of the most amazing time savers. It's crazy. We had a girl sell a house via the DMs using GroupTrack, which is wild. So we have a lot of realtors, investors, those types of people using the tool, getting some crazy results. We had a guy last year do $500,000 in a week using GroupTrack, a Facebook group, and just the system. We've had a couple people do a $314,000 month using the tool. I mean, it's just wild. It's wild.
Oh, what about the guy who, with the filter that you can put on the DMs that says not read by me or read and not responded or something?
Yeah.
Tell that story about that guy.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorites. Thank you for reminding me. So one of the biggest struggles of entrepreneurs who are using DMs to sell and serve and have conversations is that it becomes like a literal hot mess. If you guys are watching this live or in the replay, just say hot mess in the chat, because I want to prove a point, which is that everybody's going to comment, because everybody's like, where the heck did that message go? Right. And I want you to think about how many times have you been driving and you're like, I forgot to follow up with Johnny, dang it. Right.
Exactly.
And so one of the features that we built in GroupTrack is inside of your DMs. So not only can you track and see where the person is in your sales pipeline using the DMs, but there's also a button you can click and it will show you all of your unread messages. And so we had this client, Daniel. He had been sending outbound messages. He made an offer, he did the thing that we would tell you to do. And so then he was like, dude, Jenna, I'm so overwhelmed, because oh my gosh, how crazy is it when you message people, they message you back. And so he's like, I'm so overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, click this button. He clicked it. He found 27 people who had said yes to his offer that he never saw the message, so he never closed them. And I was like, oh my God, these are, and to be clear, these are not just messages. These are people who said, yes, I want to buy your offer. And so I was like, Daniel, how much money would that have been if you had closed those sales? And it was $57,000.
Makes my stomach hurt, man.
It does. We had another client, Molly. She did the same thing. She had made an offer in January, clicked the button in April, found a girl who had said yes to her offer. She never saw the message. So Molly frantically messaged her, was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I missed this message. 10K sale that day. So when we talk about value, right? So I do want to note on this. So right now, and we may be changing our prices as we're kind of moving to LinkedIn and school soon here, but as of right now, you either pay $97 a month or $157, depending on a couple, key things like features and stuff like that.
Right.
And here's the reality. I don't know how much money you make an hour, Tracy. I'm assuming it's probably more than 157, but here's the reality. Even if you only make $97 an hour, you sitting and manually doing that work costs you money.
Exactly.
Right. And so to have the tool be able to keep you organized, find those messages, do that work for you, you literally cannot, like the return on investment is stupid. Again, a guy made $500,000. He paid 197 or 157. Daniel found $57,000. He clicked one button in the tool one time. You know what I mean? And so we are like, dude, if we can't help you get a return on 197 or 97, like we're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, totally get that. So I just kind of want to wrap this up with a bow. So what Jenna and I hope have conveyed is that these myths that we keep hearing, you have to have a large following, you have to have a large email list, you have to have 1 million people in your pipeline. Those things are not true. What's true is, and Jenna is so good at sharing this message, is that you have to have conversations with people. You have to go find the people and bring them into your world to uncover what needs they have. We never know where that connection is going to lead. But with GroupTrack, you can make that process easier, faster. You can go to sleep at night knowing I've not let anybody fall through the cracks. You know, that's embarrassing. Like you're saying, the guy that pushed the button and found, 27 DM messages that said, yes, I want your thing. I mean, I would feel terrible. I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes. And so that doesn't happen anymore. So that stress is relieved. So yeah, it's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to check the comments and see if anybody had any questions. Oh my gosh, so many fun friends are here. Deja Lee's here. Deb, Sandria. I hope I said your name correctly. I love it. And over on LinkedIn, we've got Heather DeRocco has joined us.
Oh, Heather.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Do you want to tell everybody about pipelines?
Sure. Yeah. So we have a couple ways that we support people, right? Because the reality is the tool is a game changer. But if you don't technically have like a strategy of how to attract, how to nurture, how to convert those people, how to keep them buying, you're not going to get quite as huge of a return as people like Tracy and some of our other clients are. So we get two different groups of people. We have people that are like, dude, I already have a strategy. I'm getting the leads. I know how to convert them. I've got a masterclass. It's the bomb. I just need a tool to track it. And for those clients, we're like, great, get the tool. They're off and running. We almost, honestly, some of our better clients, we've never even spoken to them once. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, we have people who've been with us for 4 years I've never spoken to because they just don't answer they just are gone. But I'm like, okay, they're killing it. But then there's another group of people that are like, ooh, I need a little bit of help to learn those strategies and then how to do those strategies with GroupTrack so I can make them faster, better, easier. And that's what Pipelines is. So we have a coaching program. It's low to mid ticket. And like I said, we don't think that you should have to buy a house or a car to learn how to be successful in business. And so our program at right now is $497 a month, which is just wildly underpriced, but overserved. And so most people who are in the program are like, I have paid $2,500 a month for a program and I get more out of the $497 than I ever do in that. So that's what Pipelines is. And then we also have a program for people that really kind of feel like they already have the strategy, but all they need help with is follow up and like, how do I sell in the DMs? And that's called Work My Leads. And so we either train the CEO on just how to follow up, or we train your team so that they can do the follow up for you.
Love it. I love that so much. You guys, I was able to, speaking of my last launch of Business Visibility Made Easy, I was able to increase my masterclass signups by over 50% with GroupTrack. I added 150 more people to the signups by myself. You guys, this was not, I had affiliates of the program and they were promoting, but the people that were registering for the masterclass was because I was able to send bulk DM messages inviting the people that were already in my audience and connected with me and were already following me and already love my content. And I was able to do that in a way that I've never been able to do that before. And I even landed in Facebook jail. You remember that, Jenna, in the middle of.
I'm like, are you even selling if you're not in Facebook jail? Come on.
Yeah. But talk about like what we're talking about on going to the people and you don't let things get in your way.
No.
That was a moment for me where I was like, I could sit here and feel sorry for myself that I'm in DM jail and I can't send another DM. But did I do that?
No, you
No.
did not.
I went to email.
Well, and that's why, I love working with you, Tracy, because we don't really talk much about email strategy or anything like that. And so that's an area that I would send my people to you to be like, oh, you need help with email, go see Tracy. But I think one thing that is really key about the strategy that allows us to, hit the million yearly is that we use email, we use our social media page or group, and we use DM. So there's never a day where, like, if one doesn't work, I don't have my hands tied. I'm like, great, pivot, keep moving. Right. And I said this at the beginning, if I could lovingly like shake everybody and be like, if you just did this, you would see. The answer is I don't let those things stop me, and I don't let other circumstances control my business. I go do the work to make it happen. And I think if enough people would go do it, they would be shocked at the results that they see.
Totally. Amen. I love that. I just popped my affiliate link into the comments over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I will get that to you guys as well when we get finished with the live, that you get
DM Tracy if you want it.
DM me. I should have said that. I keep forgetting. I need to get in the habit of doing that. That's something Jenna is helping me with. So DM me the word GroupTrack if you would like my affiliate link, and let's have a conversation. But you get a 14-day free trial to check it out, and you're going to love it. That's all. I mean, that's it. Period. You're going to love it.
Yeah, done.
Done. Jenna, anything else you want to share before we go?
No, I'm just so glad to be here. And I think, guys, if you are following Tracy, which obviously you are, if you are hearing this, like, go do her program, would you, for the love. Her stuff is so good. I don't recommend many people. I have a very, I'm very careful about who I put my name on and who I would recommend. And I am absolutely obsessed with Tracy. I feel like we're kind of the same human. And, just similar so much. And I just think that what she's doing is so great. And I love the value she puts behind it and the price point. I just think it aligns so much with what is in my heart. And so I just feel super grateful to get in front of your audience, because I'm guessing if they're following you, that they're amazing humans, because you are. And yeah, I think, any chance that we can like collaborate and help each other's community, it's just such a win. So super grateful to be here. And I hope you guys take advantage of all the goodness that Tracy gives.
Thank you. I did not pay her to say that, I swear.
She did.
All right, my friends. Okay. You know what I always say every single week? Remember that being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. It's a roller coaster. Some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days nobody can remember your name. And if you think you are alone feeling that way, you are not. And it doesn't matter if you're on day one, hour one, you're just starting out, or you're 25 years in making $1 gazillion. We all feel that way from time to time. So that's where you've got to get into a community of support. Come join a free Facebook group. Be a confident entrepreneur. Get visible, grow your email list and your income. Come be with us. Let us surround you. You can ask questions. You can promote your offers anytime. You're encouraged to network and connect with people in the DMs, because that's where your business growth is going to happen.
Yes.
All right. Jenna, thank you so much again for being here. It really means the world to me. I know how busy you are. You guys have a great balance of the week and weekend. Remember, when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on.
I love it.
I will see you all next week, Thursday at 11:30 for another training.
Woohoo!
All right.